What is up, YouTube fam? How's everyone doing today? I hope you're feeling well. I hope you're doing good. It's good to see you. My name is Bamie. I am an artist, amongst other things, and I love to document my process and share art tutorials and inspiration videos for you. Just share my process with you. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back to my channel. If you're not subscribed, I hope that you will do that. It really does go a long way to support your favorite creators and really does not cost you anything. So I hope that you will hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I also wanted to take a quick second to give a shout out to Michelle and her dad. Michelle shared with me that they've both been really inspired by my work, which honestly, I know I do get this feedback from time to time, but it consistently blows my mind. And on the level that Michelle shared with me was something that struck a chord with me. And so for that, I just want to say thank you. Wishing your dad a speedy recovery. And I hope that you both can have fun with it. And for everyone else who's just taking the time to interact with me positively, I truly appreciate you guys. It's always been a goal of mine and continues to be a goal of mine to build a community on here. And so watching that happen slowly but surely is something that I do not take for granted. I truly appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch, engage, thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Truly appreciate you. Thank you. I hope that my work continues to inspire you. Today I have a really quick video for you about a very practical aspect of being a plaster artist, especially if, like me, you live in an apartment building and you do not necessarily have access to, you know, outside, to bushes, to being able to dispose of your plaster waste. And so you could probably already tell by the title, this quick video would really just address and share my process with you, how I dispose of my plaster waste as a plaster artist. I will start off by saying the very first thing you should know is that pouring plaster down your drains is an absolute no-no. And that is because it will dry hard and it will clog up your drains. And that is just something you do not want. I live in New York City, and that is just me racking up bills and expenses, because if anything were to happen to my drains and they found out the cause of the clog, I would be in effect responsible for fixing that. And that's just not something you want to do. Even if you own your own, I'm sure you do not want to clog up your own drains. It's just a nightmare that's unnecessary. And so I thought today I would just address that very practical aspect of being a plaster artist. And so I will show you what I do, and I'll be very honest, it's not a very pretty process. It is not pretty at all, but this is what I do and it's what works for me. One thing I will say is over time, I have really just gotten into the habit of being able to scope out like plastic or Tupperware, things that come into my home that could serve the purpose of helping me dispose of my plaster waste. And I'll give you a very practical example, which is something I am doing at the moment. And for example, I already told you this is not a pretty process. This is an empty container for Elmer's glue, which if you're not new here, you already know that Elmer's glue is a very integral part of my process. And once I used up the glue, the one thing I've been doing is I have been pouring my plaster waste into this bottle. So if I move this closer, you will see that you have the plaster sediment at the bottom, and then you have some water, some excess water up top. And so what I like to do from time to time is thankfully plaster does settle. And so what I love to do is I will go in and drain some of that excess water out. And when I'm washing my brushes, I would pour it back into this container, I'll pour my plaster waste into this container, and I'll give you a quick demonstration. So I was working yesterday and I've had these brushes soaking in water since yesterday. And the good part of plaster is, the sediment does settle very easily. All you have to just do is leave it still in a container. And I love to do this as a process when it comes to cleaning my brushes. And so what I will do is just take that out. Try not to disturb the sediments at the bottom as much as possible. And then drain some of the excess water up top. And now that I have drained it, what I'm left with is most of the plaster sediment. And this is the part that you do not just, this is the part that you do not want to pour into your drain at all. And so I shake that up a little bit to make sure that I am able to get that in here. And I will go in, just get a little bit of water. And generally rinse off my brushes. Get any excess plaster off. And then pour that in. And feel free to do this as much as you feel that you need. I could still see some sediment at the bottom, and so I just put a little bit more water. And I'm gonna try to get that And there are times when just doing it once is not enough, especially depending on what stage of the creative process you're in. There are times when my brushes are really, really dirty, and just getting them out of the water once is not enough to get most of the plaster sediment out of it because they're just caked. And in those cases, I will then get more water, rinse them into that water, let that water sit. It's more of a rinse and repeat process, and then pour the sediment in here. And so what you're seeing is more of an accumulation of plaster waste that I have had, or that I have been accumulating for some time now. And so what I will do is, once what the waste I just poured into this settles, like I mentioned, you're always free to drain the excess water up top. Another method that I would like to share with you, this is just something that I have by chance because I have this plastic that is going into the garbage. But here's another option that you have available to you. I love to get like some sort of container that's easy enough for me to wash my brushes. And what I do is I'll line that container with some plastic. And so you have something like this. And what I can do is I can take my time to fully immerse my brushes and wash them in here. And once that happens, again, you give it some time, you let it settle. And what you can do, given that you have a plastic bag, is you can sort of, punch a hole, pierce something where all of the excess water is drained out. And then you can just neatly take out the plastic bag, and you have most of the plaster waste collected in your plastic bag, and you can dispose of that. I did give you those disclaimers. It's not a pretty process, but so far so good. This is what I've been doing, given that you just do not, the alternative is not an alternative. You cannot pour down your drains. It will mess it up. I cannot overemphasize this. And so I am also open to hearing your comments in the comment section. If you have any better ideas, if you think I can improve upon my process, I'm definitely looking to hear from you. I'm happy and open to your thoughts. But this is what I've been doing. It works for me so far, and it's kind of a way to just make sure that I'm using and reusing my plastics as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And I hope that this video was helpful for you. I hope that it answered some of your questions about how to dispose of plaster, especially when you're not accessible to the outdoors per se. And so I hope that this video was helpful and informative. As a reminder, if you've not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications. I promise you there is a lot to watch out for on this page. I'm working on so many projects. I am super inspired at the moment. And so I promise you there's just a lot of exciting things coming up. So you don't want to miss that. Hit that subscribe button. And again, if you're interested in purchasing any of my works, all of the links will be left in the description. You should definitely check out my website where you can also sign up for 10% off your first purchase, which I think goes a little bit of a long way. And with all of that said, I will see you all in my next video. Take care. Bye.